Hey everybody, glad you're here with me today. In this video, it's going to be sort of like a favorites type video. I haven't been doing those really like on the end of the month, every month, because instead I'd like to bring them to you when I'm just really like feeling passionate about the certain things I want to talk about. Like I could always probably name off some favorites, but I kind of want it to be my idea to do it. So in this video, it's all about some products I've been loving, some product combinations that have really been working well for me. And yeah, just kind of like my personal beauty top stories. If I was doing a makeup newscast, these would be the things that would be the stories in my rundown. So let's start with the complexion stuff. By the way, I feel like the skin is looking pretty good with just the skincare on today, but we're gonna glow it up just a little bit more. I'm using my Maybelline Perfector 4-in-1. Okay, this is a great partner product to so many things. That'd be a fun category in the Emily Awards, like best partner product. Product that works well with others, but this is just kind of a thin, glowy primer is what I used it as. I've actually used a lot of it. My tube is getting down there and I just blend it in with my brush. It's so thin and light and it just looks really good paired with anything from like a more lightweight foundation to a full coverage foundation. I actually really like using this with things that are full coverage because it just like manages that foundation just a little bit more. It balances it somewhat, gives it just a little more natural look. And look how nice just on its own. Main aspect here of the complexion stuff, Derma Blend. Okay, Derma Blend. I'm talking about two products here that I've had, and I know you've seen me using the Cover Care Concealer and talking about how good that is for several months now. But this is another thing I had in my collection and recently rediscovered. It's the CC Cream Continuous Correction, has the SPF 50, top of the line in the coverage and staying power department. And the combination of these two I think is really good. I'm talking all day base makeup looking really just the way it started. And I sweat, I move around, I touch my face, I deal with little kids, I do a cheerleading practice at the end of the day. If that stuff is still hanging on, it is saying something, okay? This stuff is awesome. And my eyes have really been open to it, especially this here recently. So where do you find this? I feel like the selection of colors for this stuff, the CC Cream, is dwindling on Ulta's website. I don't know if maybe Derma Blend's not gonna be there a whole lot longer. It doesn't look promising. However, you can find the full range on Derma Blend's website and on Amazon. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm starting with this. This is my CC in 35N, light to medium 1. That's the shade I wear. And this stuff is just so beautiful on the skin. I love the little squeeze tube we got here. We're gonna make it look like just a pearl-sized amount, okay? Not a lot. It's not a super thick foundation. It could apply well with a brush, but I have been using a beauty blender lately. This black one here is called the Beauty Blender Pro. I was just thinking the other day I needed to use a new beauty blender and I had this one in a drawer. So here I am tapping it in and look, this is with Beauty Blender application. Look at that cheek. And a pearl-sized amount. Not a lot on the skin. And maybe that's part of why it's able to wear so well, is because the layer I've been putting on is honestly quite thin. Look at how pretty this is looking. And yeah, so many things look good and wear well on top of this stuff. Guys, I am just bouncing that in. I'm getting it up to the under eye area. I think that the concealer wears especially well with this. It kind of makes sense, you know, you put a good concealer on top of a base that's gonna wear really well. Like this is your foundation like holding everything up. And if that's gonna wear well, the concealer's gonna look extra good. Look at this, it doesn't look cakey. Again, you could blend with a brush. The shade match is perfectly on point. I'm so loving that, and nobody talks about Derma Blend. And then the Cover Care Concealer, one of my best full coverage concealers here, 15C is the shade. If you really wanted to, you could trade this off for like a NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop or an e.l.f. Camo concealer, but I do think this wears exceptionally well. I think Derma Blend really has it figured out on staying power and coverage. They just do. So here's where my dots are. And I'm going to begin by just moving those dots around a little bit. And I didn't do this the other day when I was applying these products, and I honestly do see a little difference if I don't do this, because your sponge can just gobble up that dot. And here we're forcing that dot to move around, take up some space, and then it gets blended. Okay, so we got a little brightness there, lightness there. Did I say that I'm 15C in this? Quality. Look, now I'm just bouncing over it. In that inner corner as well. You know how that is. I mean, look. You were already at a full coverage place. And now you're just, this is called perfecting here, I think. It's so good, my friends. By the way, this little shirt, I think I got this a couple of years ago at Walmart. I found 2 different like thermal type shirts, little knit shirts that are like this in my closet. Here we go. Here's the face. I don't know what I like better, that it looks so good and it's so satisfying to put on right now, or the fact that it's going to keep looking like this at 4 o'clock this afternoon. Slay. Okay, Maybelline Fit Me is saying, you know I'm part of this process. The Fit Me. Maybelline Fit Me. I've been using it all the time, and I've been using a healthy amount. Like that, okay? Basically, like, make sure you really see it on the puff and go at it. That's just been what's working for me. If you know this doesn't work for you, then I'm not chaining you to the chair and asking you to do it. I'm just saying this is what works for me. And the under eye looks the same in the afternoon as when I started. And another little side benefit, I believe under eye makeup, like anything I'm putting down here on the lower lash line, is wearing better and longer and continuing to look the same with this technique. So a healthy amount of powder. Thing is, I don't leave it there that long. So this, again, just what works. I take the Morphe under eye bullet brush. And yeah, under eye, schmunder eye. I mean, look at that. I'm decorating for Christmas. The Christmas decor is underway. Enjoy the last of the little fall stuff that's out here. I really like the way the fall stuff looked this year in this room. Yeah, I've so far got my big tree done, and I did it with colored lights. We have white lights like on the outside of our house. They're actually getting put up today and they look incredible and I love them. But I thought, wouldn't it be pretty to have in our front window like just this bejeweled looking colorful tree just through that window? Wouldn't that be great? Also, my dad is a fan of the colored lights and I thought this would be a little tribute tree for Dad. He'd enjoy that. A little bit of this. Can I emphasize a little bit of the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear powder, which is in True Beige for me. Look, I'll show you exactly how much is going on. Just a roll in with minimal pressure and a dab. This CC isn't screaming to be said a lot, but I'm just telling you this does help. Anyway, colorful lights on the big main tree. I got the living room tree done last night and my little garland that goes across the TV. I still have all the rest of my garlands, this room, the girls' tree, like there's a lot that remains, but it feels so good to be getting it done. All right, there's my coverage. I just love it. I just love it so much, you guys. Okay, I'm gonna put on a bronzer. I don't have any one particular bronzer that I've been extremely devoted to, with maybe the exception of Hard Candy Instant Summer, so I'll use that. This is in the shade Tan. This is probably the most luxe feeling bronzer for the price at the drugstore. It's smooth and creamy feeling, blends easily, comes in at least I think 4 different shades. I mean, I like L'Oreal's bronzers too. You know, L'Oreal's got a good thing going on with this Fresh Wear line, but this is just like it. It's just cheaper and probably a little bit softer. So yeah, we're just blending that in there. We'll give ourselves a little cheek. I took that really high, didn't I? But look, it blends. Bubba, one of his favorite movies is The Lorax. I really should have tried to dress him as the Lorax at one point for Halloween, but he loves that movie. And we're putting up trees and he goes, I speak for the trees. That's what the Lorax says. Bubba and I were laughing about that for a long time last night. Oh, and he got to be at the start of cheerleading practice the other night. And let me tell you, he loved being hugged on and picked up and carried around and played with by all those girls. There's my Hard Candy Instant Summer. No big deal. We're just doing, you know, light contour. The skin is still super duper matte, but that will change momentarily. I mentioned this recently, but one of the best holiday things going is the Tarte Honeysuckle collection. It's this palette and it comes with a lip liner and a Marcuja Juicy Lip. This is my kind of palette. This is me in a palette. Like if the Emily Edit, the Makeup Revolution product, had a part 2 to the Needs, you know, this is the Needs' deeper, moodier little best friend, you know. I love this palette. I love it. I want to use it all the time. I really like the tones. You might say, how are the tones anything special in there? Well, I just really like what they chose in this little 9-pan. I like the depth and richness. I like the little bit of shine, and I love this blush, okay? This berry blush. This is the best thing Tarte has done holiday-wise by a lot by a wide margin. Like, I tried some other Tarte stuff, did not like. This, love more than just about anything. So we're just swirling that beautiful In From the Cold pinch of berry kind of blush there. We're putting it high, we're bringing it down, but yeah, it's just stunning. Great blush. And then my pairing really, I like this blush paired with the certain highlight that's coming in. Okay, rosy cheeks. In From the Cold. It's starting to get cold out, you know? Mornings are cold, nights are cold. Right now, afternoons are tolerable with just some long sleeves, but ooh, yes, turn it on. Turn on that blush. But this highlighter, guys, this highlighter, something about the mattness of all this, and then this. Revlon Skin Lights. This is the prismatic highlighter in the shade Daybreak Glimmer, and it's so good. And I realized this in the video where I used a bunch of drugstore products I'd never tried before. I'm all about it. Get a little bit on your Real Techniques setting brush. Just watch it build. It never gets old. Look at the cheek. Just right there on the apple. My new preferred highlighting method. Honestly, it's a great idea. It keeps that shimmer kind of out of your crow's feet area. I feel like everything looks smoother, more of an even plane up here when I just kind of keep it right under the eye. And this was discovered through the AI video where I was trying to duplicate my AI makeup. A little bit up here to the forehead. The whole complexion is looking dewy, not feeling dewy now. This is so good. This is an absolute love of a highlight. It's kind of one of those look no further highlights, you know? It's even more little goes a long way than that Milani one that I have loved and that has been like, I think, a multi-year Emily Award winner. The Milani Strobe Light Afterglow. This is even more like a highlight you may have for a lifetime kind of thing. I just love icing the cake. The matte, even, just shunk cake and then putting the little icing on the cheek. Do I have a brow favorite? Not particularly right now. I mean, we just have those all-time good brow things. I've gone through a couple of my skinny pencils lately. I'm like about to go through this Kosas Brow Pop. Deep brown or dark brown? Dark brown. Something broke in there a little bit, so it just sort of has to stay like this, and I don't have much left to twist up. So I'm just gonna, for the purposes of let's go through this, I'm using this one. Guys, Little House on the Prairie, I know some of you have started watching as well, and I don't want to spoil the major thing that I just went through for the last 2 nights. It was one of the 2-part episodes that is just, I mean, just major for, I think, the trajectory of the show. Something big's going down with Mary. Okay, that's all I can say. If you know, you know. If you've seen it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I'll cry if I talk about it anymore. I can't. Something big's going on with Mary. Nobody spoil it in the comments for anybody else that's watching, but Bub's like, I read the books. I knew this was coming. Well, I did not. Some of the heaviest episodes of television lately have come from that show. They can do some fun, lighthearted stuff for a while, but they can also absolutely twist your stomach. Hi, kitten. I'm okay. I'm just talking about Little House. I feel like there was another show I watched like that, where it's like, I've gone through a full day, I'm tired. Do I have the emotional bandwidth to handle an episode of this show? Was it Ozark that I was feeling that way about? I don't know. I feel deep. I feel things very hard. We're gonna just pair that with the Eyebrow. So this is just the little partner product there. It doesn't hold as well as Brow Fast Sculpt. It's not as good as Brow Fast Sculpt. Sometimes I use the products together, the pencil and this. It does have some hold, and it definitely offers some color, added color to your brows. And then we are just going to go on and use the Tarte palette for a look today, because if we're talking favorites, that's a favorite. But I have a partner thing that I am so excited to tell you about as far as the eye look goes. So jazzed up about this. And yes, to those who have asked, I did get the new Huda Grunge palette. I've worked with it once so far, so I'm not really prepared to do a review on it. There's so much that it can do that I haven't done on my eyes. I'm not in a place to review it yet. Did I like the first look I did with it? Yes. But this partner thing that I'm going to tell you about pairs really well with that as well. What I'm talking about is something that makes a great lazy liner or like under eye staying power color. This set from Laura Geller, I got this from QVC, and when I saw the shades that were in it, I thought this looks promising. So many of the shadow sticks I have, like, let's go back to Mally Evercolor shadow sticks. I still have some of those. Those are great. But the essence of that line is like a light to mid-tone shimmer, you know, a lot of light shades. Vast majority of what I have in my collection does not go deeper than a, let's say, caviar stick in cocoa or a caviar stick in plum. So many shades are light, and this collection is like a 7-pack. Odd to get a 7-pack of something, but it's a 7-pack of rich shades. And just for staying power purposes, I swatched here 2 days ago. I've showered, I've washed my hands a zillion times, I still have remnants. These don't smudge, okay? So freshly applied, they did go a full day not making a smudge. And the shades are so great. Like, I love this soft black for an easy lazy liner. Lazy liner is when I use a shadow stick as upper liner. So many of these, the darkness that they have. Yesterday, when I did the grunge palette, I did a combination of these two on the lower lash line. We have Smoky Plum, this lighter one, which is just a really cool matte, kind of deep lavender. And then Smoky Amethyst, nice rich plum. Just used them on the lower lash line. It stayed all day, no smudging. We have Marsala Wine here, which is a nice little burgundy. We've got navy. We've got dark brown. It's like a dark brown shimmer. We've got the deep forest green, color of my bathroom. They're just great. They come with little sharpeners at the end, so if you want to keep that tip precise, because the tip does come with a point, they're amazing. I've been loving them. And if you've seen that Huda Grunge palette, you're kind of seeing now like, oh, okay, the eye look is already something kind of deep and dark, and then you pop in something like this on the lower lash line. It's really fun. So I like having that wardrobe. I think I got it maybe $10 or more off at the time I purchased it. It's just a really cool little eye product. So I'm gonna go in and start my eye look, and then we'll bring in some of those as like liner and lower lash line. First, I'm gonna use my favorite little started out shade, that one right there. And the lip parts of this kit are really good as well. The liner lasts a long time. You can refer to my main video for that. The liner is here, but I have my Juicy Lip that is in kind of like a Clinique Black Honey, but maybe a bit more sheer kind of shade. I've got that in my coin purse. But yeah, even just the palette itself I love, but I think it's awesome that it came with 2 full-size lip products. Rosie needs to make up her mind, you know? I just let her in the girls' room, and a lot of times she lays down and sleeps on one of their beds for like the last little bit here in the morning. But now she's scratching to get back out. Okay, so we're just shearing it up, shearing it out. How's it going? I was just letting the kitty out. Hug. Oh, goodness. Back to bed, little Fred. There's that one shade, which if, let's say I got interrupted and the makeup had to stop here, it wouldn't be that bad. This could be the one thing you do on your eyes. But no, I'm gonna take the shimmer right here, this berry looking shimmer, which can definitely do some dark work on your eyes too. I'm gonna put that in my crease. But you know, you don't have to use the obviously dark shades in the palette all the time to do this. Look at that. There's something called family reading night tonight at the school. They said, feel free to come dressed as a superhero. Look at this. I love the way that shade is working in a new way. You'd never know it was a shimmer applied like this with this brush. I don't really have any superhero costumes. Blending just with a bare brush. Taking a little bit of cream highlight there. I think we only own like one superhero item in this family, and that's a shirt that probably barely fits Biddy anymore. It's like a Wonder Woman shirt with a Velcro cape. I'm gonna go into this dark shade right down here. It's like a deep dark brown with my flat brush. And I'm just patting that on the outer part of my lid. My TikTok feed is showing me a lot of casseroles right now. That must be the content I'm liking and spending the most time looking at. I've got some new ideas for Thanksgiving. Normally I make a corn casserole, which is like a little 5-ingredient thing that I love. It's like my heart and soul in a casserole. I love it so much. And I love green bean casserole. Yep, just look up like the way to make it on the French's French fried onion website. That's that. Of course, potatoes. Of course, some stuffing. or dressing, whatever you like to call it. And I do have like a cheesy broccoli kind of thing that I've made. I make that sometimes for Christmas or New Year's, but I saw like a broccoli rice thing the other day that looked like something very doable that maybe I'll throw into Thanksgiving. I have occasionally done a sweet potato casserole, although that's a bit more involved. Look at this. This is just the deep brown. Everything blends so well. Oh, there's an SIU game tonight. I'm shooting this on Thursday. They're undefeated so far. Let's take some of this. This looks so bright on camera. And it's a pretty like rose gold shimmer. Fairly glitzy. I posted about this on Instagram recently, but Belle had to spell Mediterranean for her spelling test this week. Mediterranean. I got so many DMs from people that were like, I can't spell that. I'm a fully grown person and I can't spell it. Let me just say, you got to break it up, okay? Mediter. Mediter, okay? M-E-D-I-T-E-R. If you can spell that, you're home free on this word. Mediter-ran, R-A-N, ran, E-an, E-A-N. Mediter-ran. E-an. Even Biddy knew how to spell this after overhearing this whole session. Break it up. And isn't that the way life is sometimes? Got a hard task? Break it up. Make it smaller tasks. Got something that seems overwhelming? Just chunk it up. And I give full credit to my mom for this thought process because, like, I was a good student. I got really good grades, but I didn't get good grades because I just naturally, like, sat in class and just really, you know, took it all in there. I got good grades because I went home and, like, I studied stuff. I had to work pretty hard to, like, do well on a test, let's say. And my mom would help me study sometimes. I remember, like, her coming up with little ways for me to remember these states and capitals, or to remember this or that geography fact, or this spelling of something. Like, she would always just have something to say that stuck with me and made it like a thing I could easily remember in my mind. And now, like, here I am doing that for Nookie, and I was telling Mom the other day, I'm like, you started this. Mediter-ran-e-an. I want to go across my upper lash line. I'm going to use the plum today, or this is called Smoky Amethyst. It's all nice because they're brand new and they're real pointy, but even when they stop being pointy, they can still make good lazy liner, or we have the sharpener. They're so soft and easy, and then they set. Oh, I love this Smoky Amethyst. Welcome to my new favorite shadow sticks that are deep, because, like, I got a lot of good shimmery ones, good ones from the drugstore, you know, that hard candy line. I wish they'd expand their shades, but if you get Pony and Cold Brew from Hard Candy, and then you get these, look at that. It does not get easier than that, and it looks pre-smudged now because it's a thicker line, and it's gonna last. Okay, so I did that one there, and then I find myself, I got 7 of these, so I'm looking at them like, what am I going to use next? Let's try this Marsala wine. It's interesting. Some don't have a lot of shimmer. This is one that's like a little more matte, as is this one called Smoky Plum. That is such an interesting shade. I'd venture to say there's not a shadow stick in existence that looks like that one. Okay, so I'm taking this. It's so smooth. I'm just trying to, like, not get it on too heavy. That's why you might see me kind of going back and forth or just sort of wiggling it into the lash line. And then you don't have to set this with anything. It will set and it will stay. If you like the softened up look of applying some more shadow on top, do it, but you don't have to. That's the whole point. You know, this is something that looks like eyeshadow on your lower lash line, but will actually last. And I like that shade down there too because it's dark enough it's not looking too red. Laura Geller said, oh, you like my baked blushes? You think that's the best thing I do? Look out. I'm going to curl my lashes. I think this tube still has some life in it. My Falsies Surreal. Good mascara. Really, really good drugstore mascara. Cool color. Cool tube. Not really like the thing of the video, the top story of the video. The tip-top story of this video was Dermablend. Next, it was Honeysuckle palette and also that highlighter and kind of the way those look together. Also with the partnering of the Laura Geller sticks. Like that whole thing. And then I do have a statement on lips coming. I don't know why I said it that way. All right, we're just gonna wiggle this on through. Yeah, it's hard to beat corn casserole. The 5 ingredients are butter, sour cream, a Jiffy corn muffin mix, a can of corn, whole kernel corn, and a can of creamed corn. Although, one way I might be able to level this up even further, because I love when you can get the Bird's Eye frozen corn, the yellow and white corn mix, you know, it's really, really good. It tastes just like corn cut off the cob, or as close as you can get to that taste. What if I replaced the regular can of corn with that? I got a little on my eyelid, but it's okay. There's still some left in this mascara. Maybe I'll try that on Thanksgiving. Oh, also I'm on to the Sister Schubert rolls. I discovered those last year. Those are good. But I'm a sides kind of person. Like, Bub does a really good job with meats, and you know, he's got his smoker, he's got all kinds of ways he cooks meat, and it turns out great. But I'm a sides person. That's what really excites me at the Thanksgiving dinner. Give me a little dab of everything, please. And Mom does such a good like cranberry salad. Just the perfect sweetness, you know, to have that little bite of something sweet with your meal. Perfect made into a little leftover turkey sandwich too. A little dab of the cranberry. Okay, see how good this mascara is? I mean, it's on its last legs, but it still came to work today. She showed up. Thick, long, like, and just flake away if you made any messes. Little quick lower lash. My look is so like basic me today, but I love it. I mean, the complexion is rocking, and it's just an eye look that I like to wear, especially if my shirt kind of coordinates. Let's go. Okay, now talking about lips. Talking about lip combos, I've been using a lot of different things, but there is a certain thing that I've liked the most. I've been liking to just take a Longwear stick type of thing, like a Super Stay Matte Ink crayon. I got a lot of those. I've been using Lead the Way a lot. It's kind of a pinky one. And then I've got some of my most used ones must be down in a purse right now. But another shade that I really like that's so good that I keep among those in my storage. So like that's a VIP area there where the Super Stay Matte Ink crayons live on my table. And I keep this in with it, the NYX Lingerie Push Up in the shade Seduction. You're using this as both liner and color. It's opaque color and it's giving you all the precision of a liner. All right, so that's step one. We're doing a little two-step lip. And I like this shade. It's just kind of rich and makes me think like deep neutral with a little rose. It's classic me. Okay, fill in your whole lips with that. If you like to stay in this matte place, stay there. But I've been liking some shine on top. At this stage of the game, I've done a lot of pulling in the Fenty shade in the trio that has the shimmer in it. It's the Dragon Fruit or Dragonfly. I think it's Dragonfly is in the name of that. Or choosing one of these In Beauty lip glazes for on top. And this cinnamon bun, ooh, if you love the scent of Philosophy's Cinnamon Bun Shower Gel, it's the sweetness. It's really laying into that sweetness. So we've got something that's really gonna last. These from NYX last pretty much as well as a Super Stay Matte Ink crayon, but we're gonna put that shine on top. And that enjoyable scent that just brings you joy as you smell it. And if you would happen to lick one of these In Beauty glosses, you're gonna be like, oh, hey, sweetness. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Satisfying. Very, very satisfying. Another thing, a little side benefit here. When you're layering over something like this, or like a really long wearing lip liner, think Revlon Color Stay, these Super Stay Matte Ink crayons, when you layer over these with your glosses, guess what they don't do? They don't transfer onto your gloss wand. Like, you're not interfering. You can layer the gloss on top, and it's not like you're layering over a really emollient creamy lipstick. You're layering over something that's basically set, and if you don't linger too long, it's not going to transfer onto your gloss wand. Dimitri von Leuschner. Where does Days of Our Lives come up with some of the names? But there's my look today, guys. I mean, it's just some absolute faves in this video. So the Dermablend stuff, the Tarte palette, those Laura Geller sticks are so great. I mean, I just had some good, big, like, top story news for you today. And the glow on the skin, 100% credit to this. This is the glowy thing on my skin. It's what took us to not only very, very even and full coverage, but it gave the skin life along with that blush. So thank you for watching, my friends. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you back here very soon. Okay, I think my video cut me off right as I was signing off. I love you. Bye.